2022 update for April of the Freedom Nation and what's happening inside of what we call your Black Town. Once again, to remind anyone who's new to the Freedom Nation that the Freedom Nation is focused on building a professional organization that can realize the dream of developing Black towns in and throughout the United States, as well as into global spaces of significance and what we call, or what has been called otherwise, the super corridors of the world, transportation corridors. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later. And this update is going to be a little bit hefty. We're going to go ahead and cover everything that's going on at the moment in the Freedom Nation and Freedom Village from the chairman's viewpoint, meaning that our citizens also have a plethora of things that are happening. It's impossible to cover that in all. But we will cover a news source that we have where people can update and find information about our citizenry and what things that they're doing and what they're up to at any particular given time. And it's always a blessing for me to start out by saying that I'm grateful and thankful that God has given me the opportunity to spend my life working on the realization of a dream that so many of us and so many of our leaders have had. I'm really looking forward to giving you updates and information about what's happening with the Freedom Nation overall. First things first, and let's go ahead and get into it. We want to talk about the deeds to Freedom Village, Georgia 1. Now, we have sold, if you're unaware, for our citizens, they of course fully know, we have sold a total of 72 lots, 1.25 acre lots in Freedom Village, Georgia 1, which is 205.4 acre village inside Hancock County, Georgia. Those lots have been, we did a financing program. Our citizens purchased those lots, and now they're starting to move in and build on those lots. We have now the deeds to give, but with everything that we do, we look for the absolute best and highest level of legality inside of what we create. So the process of actually developing what we call it's according to the Georgia Condominium Act that we develop the legality for the Freedom Village. We don't want at any point in time to be jeopardized in our structure and our ability to hold up what we've created. So I'd like to kind of share with you, those deeds are out, they're on their way. Basically, what's happening at the moment, what's happening at the moment is that your condominium deed, condominium declaration, which is called the master deed according to Georgia law, right, has been sent and approved. It's 80 pages long. I'm going to share that with you. This is the document itself that actually gives Freedom Village the right to exist, and also gives the ownership of Freedom Village back to the citizens, not just their own lots, but also by the creation of the village council, gives them the ability to determine what happens with the common areas and common elements of the village. That includes its roads, its streets, everything. I mean, everything. There's been the retention of some commercial properties so that that are along the road, the main roadside, so that we can work with other citizens to build spaces. We know we have one citizen right now who would like to go ahead and clear a half an acre of land and build a rest stop for truckers coming through the area. That are those truckers traveling from either Savannah Port or traveling from Macon and going up to Augusta or going back out to Atlanta on their way in there. As we understand in Georgia, there are very few places actually that are safe places for truckers to be able to park for 10 hours and get good rest, get some good food, and then get back on the line. We definitely want to facilitate that because one of the key economic elements to the village is having access to those transportation corridors and being that in-between place when it comes to warehousing, fulfillment, e-commerce, and other things that will help our economy grow inside the Freedom Village. So it's a very wonderful thing. But in all, the condominium deed is meant to pass over all of the control and power of the Freedom Village and Freedom Village, Georgia, back to the people. So it's beautiful to see that this is a official document filed under official Georgia state law. It gives power to the village council and underneath the development of an association. Now, it's so important. The association is mandated by Georgia law. Mandated by Georgia law that the occupants of the condominium must follow the rules of the association. So that means that every court in Georgia will reinforce the necessity for the people who occupy Freedom Village to follow the village council. We have a special committee, and then the special committee is near finish developing. It's made up of citizens, 4 citizens, I think 5 citizens, excuse me, have developed the additional documents of this primary document that is the Freedom, and we'll put this on the codex on the freedomnation.me/codex, but it includes even the descriptions of all of the properties, the land. It also includes the ownership division and voting division based on the land ownership inside of the village. There's also our operating agreement to the association and filed inside the state of Georgia with the Secretary of State. We also have the amendments that allow for certain powers to be created by the village council. In addition to that, there is the, I'm trying to get down here, there is your deed, and this is the deed, the actual deed that you will receive for your land plot. And then in addition to that, there is the exhibit here where we've given power of attorney to our chair, and our chair, Mukhtar Jugger, because he's in the U.S. Basically, all of the board of directors, myself included, of the Muhammad Jugger, we've given the access to Mukhtar Jugger to be able to sign off on all the documents. Now, if you haven't noticed, as far as spaces and the definition of what a freedom citizen is, as far as all of the spaces that are inside of here, there's about 5 key contracts that have to be signed off by us, and they have to be signed off for, we're going to sign these off. This only has to be done 3 times. Then we'll send a copy of the signature to everyone who is a citizen of Freedom Village, Georgia 1. After we send a copy of this to Freedom Village, Georgia 1, we will send another, what we have to do on our side is another 200 and I think it's 210 documents, because every single deed that's written has to be written in triplicate. And we have to print this out 72 times, times 3, and then send it back out to you for your signatures, your review, everything else. So this is kind of what's taking us along, the stack of paper. If you can, do 100 times, we've got to print out, anywhere between 20,000 sheets of paper and send them out to everybody so everyone has everything that they need. So that's kind of what been the holdup is. Our notary, Imam Furqan Muhammad, who is one of the original supporters of the Freedom Nation, is making himself available for us next week to help us with the notary. He's a registered notary in the state of Georgia. So that's the update on the deeds. That's the update on the condominium deed. And, for a lot of people who are really big on, there's other movements out there. But I'm going to tell you that other movements have not been able to find their path to legality. This is an awesome thing because we have a clear path to the legality of our movement. And we've been able to put it together and ensure that all the steps that allow us to have say over our own lives are put in place and reinforced at every level throughout the state of Georgia and on the federal level. That's important. So next up, we have an update on the Wi-Fi services and internet at Freedom Village, Georgia 1. Now, we have, just as a recap, all of the infrastructure projects inside of Freedom Village, we are giving back to the citizens. The Freedom Nation is only servicing as a management company, and we are putting everything together, consolidating all of the efforts and the financing from the citizens, and then building those facilities. We have built the foundations of our Wi-Fi towers. Take 30 days for us to dig them out, for us to put in the concrete, solidify the concrete, and then set the base. It's a very 4 foot tall base that goes on the base of those towers. Brother Prince Muhammad, of course, as everyone knows, brought us our tower. And we have an 80-foot tower that's sitting there inside of Freedom Village, Georgia 1 now, inside of our holding area. and we had to do some finishing work. So we had to then go back on top of that for 30 days, add additional concrete. Brother David Muhammad actually had that work done. And this is where I make a correction. So previously we did a Grand Pioneers salute to our Grand Pioneers of the Freedom Nation and the Freedom Village. And of course, everyone that I listed is a Grand Pioneer, but I want to give a special thanks to Brother David Muhammad and Sister Maria. They are living at Freedom Village. They are the second occupants of the village in our current cohort, and they are the second occupants, and they are there. They are living full time. They have moved from California. They transitioned all their goods and belongings, and now they are working on setting up and building their home. So we definitely want to honor Brother David and Sister Maria at the highest level and make sure that we give them the acclimates that they deserve. They are grand pioneers of our movement, and we really, 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 really admire the commitments that they're making to ensure that the Blacktown becomes a reality inside of Hancock County, Georgia. A little more about the Wi-Fi service and the internet. So we have a second task, and that is to find a second place to put the second tower in order to give internet services to Sparta. The first tower will just take care of internet services in the village. The second tower gives us the ability to sell those internet services elsewhere and create profitability of extension of the 600 families that live inside Hancock County in the Sparta area. We are now looking, instead of trying to lease land from somebody, which is what we have to do, we had to lease a space that was close on a high hill. We're trying to actually see if we can get permission to lease the water tower inside of Sparta and use that water tower in order to push everything out. It's high enough, it's tall enough. There's two of them. There's one that's a little taller inside, they call it Whitesville, I think Whitesville, and down the street from us. I would prefer to use the one in Sparta. It's a lot closer to the people, and it's tall enough to receive our signal if we push out through our air fiber. So that's in process. I will tell you we're about another 3 months. What we've done is we paused the internet service. The core internet service that we get at Freedom Village is actually quite expensive. It's about $2,000 a month in order to keep an entire gig of dedicated fiber optic to the village. We're now trying to negotiate to a lower amount so that we can just serve the village. The village doesn't need a dedicated gig. I can't even tell you how fast that actually is, but you can put 1,000 houses on that single line. So we don't need to do that. We need to dial it down and get our costs in a controllable area so that we can at least offer it to the citizens when they come in. We're in the process of negotiating that and resolving that at the moment. And then over the next 3 months, as we establish the second tower, we'll then turn everything back up as we bring on the new customers and bring them inside the Wi-Fi network. So that's our update on the Wi-Fi and services and internet at Freedom Village. Next up, we have monitoring and cybersecurity centers, always attached to that. Now, as you know, the Freedom Nation actually provides services to the cloud through what we call the Q Cloud at my.coastal.cloud. Now, the Q Cloud is basically at this point a set of racks. And I could explain that, but I'll show you a video a little bit while. The set of racks that live inside data centers where we actually host servers, and we host those servers in order to host the businesses of our Freedom citizens. We also use those servers in order to provide the software and the other automations that we use within the Freedom Nation to provide a professional service back to all of our citizens. So within that, we've also developed a monitoring center, and our monitoring and cloud center is located, well, at least one of them is here in Kazakhstan. I won't say exactly where, but we've just recently staffed it out, and we have about 7 staff members there. We've brought in young people, and we've given them a 90-day probation period. I want to make that clear because the Monitoring and Cybersecurity Center is a joint venture, just like the internet capacity inside of Freedom Village, with our citizens. So with those citizens, we have agreed to staff out and manage this space. And right now, we had a little struggle in the beginning finding qualified staff, But now we've got some really great people, young folks that have an open mind and can learn and grow, and we can train well. But we're going to give them a 90-day period to see if they can be productive. And if they're productive, we'll continue on. If they're not productive, we'll cut them. And we have other people that we're bringing in right behind them. In the Monitoring and Cybersecurity Center, I like to say this too, and I really hope that you're open to this. And I know that some of this information is buried into this update, but it's one of the reasons to listen to the whole update. We would like to bring over more young African American men and women in order to work in our Monitoring and Cybersecurity Center. And in the Monitoring and Cybersecurity Center, it's attached to a 7,000 square foot facility. That facility has rooms, has a full kitchen, has a full-time cook that is there who will cook and provides for the people who work in that monitoring center. We would like to bring more people over who want to learn technology, and we want to take the responsibility of mentoring you, teaching you, and helping you to protege inside the Freedom Nation's Monitoring and Security Center. Really quick, I wanted to share a video with you just so you can see the monitoring center and see exactly what it looks like. I'm going to load it up on another screen over here. So here we go. Let's take a look at it really quick.
To share with you real quick, our Network Operating Center and our Monitoring Center here inside Kazakhstan for the Freedom Nation and Freedom Villages. This center is got 2 major stations over here. We've got a total of 7 employees that work in here. And here we monitor everything from our cloud servers, all the different services that we have, everything from the weather, how things are going on, all the services and service tickets that come in through our portal at mycoastal.cloud for any of the people inside of Freedom Nation, all of our Freedom Nation citizens. This is where they do response. Everybody kind of stepped out right now. It's nighttime. Everybody went for dinner really quick. We're up here. Everybody gets the notifications from all these systems on their phone and their email, so it helps make it easy. But this is our Coastal Monitoring Center in Kazakhstan, 3-floor facility, massively, I love showing this off. Look how thick the walls are in this facility, right? Very hard to get inside here. We have cameras in every part of the facility. We monitor even the facility from another facility. This is where we start to take our steps into the high-tech parts of what it means to manage the Black-owned town.
And of course, we love showing off that work and showing off what the Monitoring and Cybersecurity Center means to us. Like I said, it's a wonderful space. It's open for to bring more young African American women and men to this space. We will give a 5-year visa to anyone who comes over, and we will train you. And that training will go far, right? Most of the people who are our proteges that have worked in the past have been trained by us. They work at other companies now, like Coca-Cola. As a matter of fact, one of our proteges is actually working at Greenwood Bank with Killer Mike and building this software that you use every single day in order to connect to your banks. Freedom Nation has been training IT developers and managers for just short of about 15 years now. And it's definitely a strong space for our nation, a strong space for what we have to do and put together. So going back from that, next topic that's up is the Freedom Village Global E-Commerce Center. Now, this is a new terminology for the majority of our existing citizens. And the reason why it's new terminology is because we just recently have renamed the Freedom Experience Cardigos, which 5 Cardigos is the experience. Border town to China. I'm sorry about that switchover. Is the border town to China. I'm trying to load up some pictures for you. And we have now 10.9 hectares, or what would be like 24 acres inside of that border town, and that allows for duty-free exchange, duty-free, tariff-free, limit-free exchange with China and other Eurasian countries on the border of China. So from that one facility in that one special town, we can bring product from Kazakhstan, all of its neighbors, as well as China, into that space, no duties, no tariffs. We have listen to what I'm saying, we have 8 trucks of our own. We have 8 trucks of our own. You won't hear another brother saying this to you at all. That we send back and forth into China every single day, which is a joint venture that we put together with our family member, who is our new family member. The young lady married one of our citizens, Hassan Wilson. And basically, we've created JV where Hassan is the head, and we're doing bulk shipping outside of Kazakhstan, as well as doing travel directly into China. I mean, if you are inside of the e-commerce center, you can order something. You can order something in China and receive it directly in the Freedom Village within 2 days. No tariffs, no duties, nothing. And with the bulk shipping that we're developing right now, we're able to take that, send it to Almaty at the end of the day, and fly it directly to the United States, free of tax and tariffs. Now, you ask me how that happens. Because we do order by order. Basically, we help you set up your e-commerce center here in Freedom Village Global E-commerce Center. You set up your facility in the Freedom Village E-commerce Center. You can order your product, make your product, do different things, pull from different places, right from China, anywhere inside Central Asia, anywhere in the neighboring countries, Turkey, so forth, whatever, and you can put it inside that place within 2 days and ship it to customers via air. And as long as it's under $800 each order under $800, then it goes into the U.S. with no taxes and no duties, according to what's called de minimis law. That is a law by the U.S. Customs, Border, and Patrol Services. You need to look that up. I'm telling you this for the first time, that you need to look up de minimis value from the U.S. Customs Service. This is what's enabling us to create this Global E-commerce Center. The Global E-commerce Center, the Freedom Nation Global E-commerce Center, is only open to Freedom citizens. And Freedom citizens are coming in holistically through other Freedom citizens approval. Freedom citizens approval. We have a focus on black-owned business, and we have all black citizens. So therefore, this is a space for you. There are only going to be 500 units available. There are 50 available right now, and they are going quick because we've provided the same financing in this space that we did for Freedom Village. We have a $1,500 down to get into 1,000 square feet on the Chinese border, take advantage of all those privileges, and $725 a month. And we are now developing a program where we will help you hire your staff, register your business in the free trade zone, help you set up all of the building of your website and your e-commerce system. You just saw the monitoring center. Told you we have it staffed out. That's one of the reasons we have it staffed out. Okay, you don't have to go to India anymore. Freedom Nation has the resources on site, on ground. I'm in Kazakhstan doing this update in order to be able to build out your e-commerce, maintain your e-commerce systems, manage everything, so forth and so on, just all the way through top to bottom. I can't tell you that it's going to get better than that. That's as good as it gets. No African-American company has ever provided this for our community, ever, in order to be able to do the things there. I'll get into it later, but the update now is that tractors now are digging out the foundations for buildings A and A block 1 through 6. Each building has 9,000 square feet, 9 units, 3 showrooms, 3 offices, and 3 residential apartments. Not executive residential apartments. So really, we're asking people to take advantage of it. If you're a Freedom citizen, you can go through our website here at Freedom Nation, and you can go directly to the available inventory and use your citizen ID to go ahead and start your financing for your area and for your particular unit. And this is only available to Freedom citizens. You can come here, but you wouldn't find the ability to actually purchase unless you are a Freedom citizen. And that's where the exclusivity comes through. So this is a wonderful thing, wonderful time. I'm really happy to talk about the rebranding of Freedom Village Cargos to the Freedom Village Global E-Commerce Center. And we will be growing on that. As one more note, last update on the Freedom Village Global E-Commerce Center, we have made a deal with the second largest telecom inside of Kazakhstan. They have recently built 14 data centers, and they have a need to fill them up with people like us. As the chairman of the organization said to me, he said, listen, Farouk, please use and sell our data centers as if they belong to you. And that's exactly what we plan to do. They have direct fiber optics connected from the data centers to the Freedom Village Global E-Commerce Center. That's already in place. And we're now able to offer that and set things up immediately, right? We have those services in place with our staff that's already here, that we can build out entire e-commerce structures and multi-channel e-commerce. Now, I won't go into detail what that is. I'll just ask you to please look it up and take a second to understand what that is and how relevant it is for multi-channel is when you use one platform to sell into multiple platforms. So from our platform, which we've already stood up, we've already built out, you can sell into Amazon, you can sell into all of Amazon's other parts like Souq.com inside of the Middle East. You can sell into Jet.com, sell into China, and so forth and so on. So this is a wonderful thing, wonderful update. You'll go to our website, freedomnation.me/builders, if you want to find out more. But this is the April update on that particular point. So next is about our circular economy and supply chain. Now, this goes right off the back of the Global E-Commerce Center. It's a short update, but I'm going to give you just a sneak preview of what we've been working on in order to facilitate the Black-owned businesses working inside of a global e-commerce center. We understand that there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot that you need to know in order to expand your business, take advantage of outsourcing, take advantage of being able to buy product at a very inexpensive amount inside of foreign markets like China, so forth and so on, and then of course around Central Asia and all different countries that are in this part of the world. So all of Asia we have access to, and we know that there's a huge knowledge gap that's there. So we're in the process of building out what we call Black2Black.us. Black2Black.us is a service of the Freedom Nation, and it is here to provide specific and pointed information about what is required along different areas to keep more money in your pocket, to reduce your costs, and to allow you to take advantage of some of the benefits. Just looking really quick, there are things here to let you sell, teaching you how to sell, not just buy, sell into China, into the Middle East, into Eurasia, into Ethiopia and Djibouti, East Africa, into West Africa, and into the European Union. It's time that more Black businesses became extremely international. You don't have to wait until you're making $2 million, $3 million, $100 million a year to get to that point. We need to get you there today. And it's easier than you think. It's about being in the right place so that you can fulfill the orders in the right amount of time. And you can purchase the product at the proper price. And then you can market through the resources that we're developing. We're pulling in experts from all these different countries, and every single week we're going to start doing a live on Black2Black.us starting next week. Freedom Village citizens and new citizens will be able to come directly through this website. Freedom Village citizens, if you're already a citizen, the access to the live content will be free to you, as well as the resources. Right now we have almost 1,000 videos that are set up across the line of reducing your inventory costs, inventory management, global sourcing, fulfillment, logistics, and selling globally. And that is each expert that we have identified, talked with, brought to the table, and are bringing in live in each country that will tell you the specific nuances to marketing in that country and making money in that space from our global e-commerce center inside of Kazakhstan. And then also to reduce your operating costs by doing staffing and administration. We want you to understand what it means to use. To give you just a quick idea, the Global E-Commerce Center allows you to hire a 5% 3-person staff. That's 3 marketers, customer service people, 2 order fulfillers, everything else for under, listen to what I'm about to tell you, under $2,500 a month. Under $2,500 a month. That's an amazing thing. It means more of our Black-owned businesses can grow at an amazing level. And we're going to start really pushing and promoting it. But I will warn you that in the Global E-commerce Center, we only have a limited amount of units. It takes a lot for us to build those units, and it takes a lot for us to finance them. Right now, we are building 6 more buildings, which means we have 50 units available. We've already sold almost 1 full building. It's gone already. And we're going to open that and available. We're doing our own financing. You'll only have to pay $1,500 down. It's a 5-year, no interest. We do not believe in interest. We believe interest is an evil construct developed, I'm going to say it just like I feel it, an evil construct developed by evil white people out of Europe who wanted to enslave people through their finances. We don't do it to our own people. So 0% financing, same as cash, $1,500 down. You'll be able to get into this space. And that's a very real thing. You've never been able to think about starting a full-blown e-commerce or better yet, expanding your e-commerce operation for that kind of money. It's an amazing opportunity. And Black2Black.us is our conduit for being able to provide that to you. And like I said, it's available now, but it will come fully online at the end of next week. So pulling back out of that and ending that segment, the next thing we want to talk about is an update on the prefab homes and the 2020 financing. Now, you're asking what that is. In Freedom Nation and Freedom Village, we sell the land first to our citizens. And if you are a citizen who owns land, then you understand exactly what I'm talking about. We have identified and understood the ridiculous increase in building materials in the United States. There are many things that we can do through our capacity. We have, of course, brick manufacturing, and we also have lumber manufacturing. The problem is that when it comes to doing things like plywood or doing things like siding materials and then extra pieces that go in your house like doorknobs, so on and so on, we don't have that capacity internal. Second, the labor costs in the U.S. They are so inhibitive right now, very much. To build your house, just a simple house, if you just want a 1,200 square foot house, you're going to bank almost $50,000 in just the cost of the people to build the house. And unfortunately, we are not able to provide financing for that because it would mean we would have to put a cash outlay. If we did that in the Freedom Village right now, we'd have to put out $2.5 million in order to be able to finance the work of people in the U.S. to build a whole house. However, the solution that we've developed is prefab homes here in Kazakhstan and in Turkey. The reason that we're doing that is because just like we told you with the e-commerce, we're saving a lot of money on everything. And we're able to make those homes at such a level where we can finance in what we call a 20-20-20 financing structure. The 20, this by the way, was passed around through the citizens, and the citizens agreed that this is a program that would work for them. What you do is you pay 20% of the cost of your home within 20 months. So we give you 20 months. We basically finance the down payment. I always want to make things as inexpensive as possible for people. I really want to make sure the Freedom Nation is an enabler to building the Black town. Financing is critical. So instead of asking for 20% in 20 months. During those 20 months, we build your home. At the end of it, your home is installed on the land. After the 20 months, you have another 20 years to pay off the rest, the other 80% of that home. It is a great deal. And as I said before, nothing about this evil construct of interest inside this financing. This is straight costs at $120 per square foot for your house landed on the Freedom Village. And if you do that, if you say, hey, I can, have my cousin build a house for, $60 or $80 square foot. Well, I'd like for you to think about, if you have the cash outlay to give him for the entire house right off the back. If you do, you're blessed like that, then God bless you. You need to go ahead and do that. If you don't have the cash outlay and you have to get a bank finance or anything else, remember that the interest at the lowest rate is going to be 3.54%. And that means that if you get that $60, $70 in, you're going to pay $120 to $150 per square foot for your house when you finish the financing. This is clean financing. This gets you your home, gets it on there. And we have 3 companies now that we are working with. And we are going to do site visits. I'm going to record those site visits, and we're going to send them back out to you so that you can have a look. I want the citizens to decide who builds our homes. And what we're trying to do is first deal with a factory where we can take a portion of the factory floor, hire our own workers, and get things done. And then we'll start to gradually develop our own factory. We've already had that conversation. We even have the building already. But now we need to put some other things inside the building, and we don't want the citizens to wait. So financing of your prefab homes will be available for the next 2 weeks before the end of the month. And remember, it's a 5% down payment on the home. The first part at 20% is 5%, and then you get another 20 months to pay off the 15%. And it's something you really, really want to take advantage of. We need bulk when we do this so that we can reduce the cost for everybody and provide the product to more people. So for the citizens, this is an update. Prefab homes ready in the next 2 weeks. We're starting our 2020 financing for the prefab homes. And within the next 2 weeks, we'll send you some video over of the homes being made and built so you understand exactly where they are. And those of you that are lucky enough to come over here to Kazakhstan, I'll talk about that a little bit later in the update, then you'll actually see the facility and the manufacturing floor for your own self with your own eyes. Next up, we've already talked about Q Cloud and hosting services. I wanted to just really quick go over, it's a part of our Freedom Village Global E-commerce Center, but it's also available to you today. We already have citizens that have their e-commerce services, that have other websites that are already available on the Q Cloud. They're using the Q Cloud today. As a reminder, it's at my.coastal.cloud, and I will put that up really quick so that we can just share the website. My.coastal.cloud is the Freedom Nation's cloud services, completely owned by us. I apologize. It just does a shift there. It likes that video. I like that video. It's beautiful. Black Power is our job. Nothing more beautiful than that. So in this, we have the Q Cloud services, and we have, like I told you, made a deal with TTC, which is the second largest telecommunication company inside of Kazakhstan. This is their website, so you can become familiar with them. They, as you see here on the front cover, they have built 14 new data centers inside of Kazakhstan, and we now have access to all 14 in order to facilitate very advanced, beautiful, multiple redundant e-commerce centers, high availability for e-commerce, cloud services for our citizens and for the citizens who come through blacktoblack.us as well, our business citizens as well. So please, this is a very big thing, and I'll answer a question for you right now. If you come in as a business citizen, you don't necessarily have to want to move into the Freedom Village. The idea is to come through that space so that you can take part in facilitating your technology build out, your e-commerce operation with inside of a black-owned space. And so that will be available, and you'll be able to join through blacktoblack.us starting next week. You'll be able to join as a business freedom citizen. That part of the update, going from our cloud services, and let's talk about our news source, which is the Voice of Freedom. Now, I really just want to hit on this very quickly. I don't want to overhang on this topic, but the Voice of Freedom, if you don't know and if you're not aware, is our news channel. And for a period of time, we kind of went docile on this, but we've become extremely active in putting in Voice of Freedom. One of the things that the incidents in the Ukraine has taught us is that there is a necessity, a deep necessity, for a global black view. And very few resources give you access to that. On top of the global black view, you'll see that we're definitely covering things that are happening in the state of Georgia. I'll remind everybody, the state of Georgia is the the most populous black state in the United States, where black people are a majority, or at least close to a majority, make up the highest percentile of people in the state overall. So it's the only place you can go where there are an abundance of black people, both African American, and if you count the I'm not going to say diaspora, but if you count Africans that have come over, even inside of Georgia, 165% over the last year, the African population has grown in Georgia. There is a humongous concentration of black power in the state of Georgia. So we are definitely covering things like the gubernatorial race, covering historical elements, and we're highlighting our citizens and the work that they do and the things that they do, and we're bringing the information that matters to you. We're not running across any kind of political lines. We're running just across the fact of news. So it should be a first stop, freedomnation.me/voice, for all of us who want a good source to find out the information that is relevant to us. I'm gonna really see, like I'm sorry, I'm a little bit here. Okay. So backing up, I'm a little off kilter here. Our next thing that we have to talk about is our 2022 visit to Kazakhstan. Now, our 2022 visit to Kazakhstan is an amazing trip. Now, it was scheduled for May 1st, but as an update, we've shifted the date into June. And the date now is June 18th to June 22nd. And I'm going to validate that just really quick. June 18th to June 25th, 2022 is our Kazakhstan excursion. We have been able to work with a local travel agency and get an amazing price. So we're going to list this in the next week, this coming week actually. $3,000 is the price that we've been able to negotiate to fly you from New York to Kazakhstan through Istanbul. You'll come here for 7 days. You'll see our facilities here at the Expo. We'll take you to our other facilities. You'll see our data centers. You'll see our management and security facilities. You'll also go out and travel to the Freedom Village Global E-Commerce Center. We'll see cargoes. We'll go up to the Chinese border. We'll identify what it means to actually work in that area. We'll come back, and then we'll just have a really freaking good time. In the middle of all that, we're going to eat a whole lamb. We're going to go to the sauna. We're going to go to a place called Shimbolek in the mountains. We're going to go to the springs that have the natural springs to comfort your body and replenish your soul. We're going to go up to the pink salt waters of the lake. And then we're going to camaraderie and just fellow with our fellow freedom citizens and fly you back home. All your flights, all your hotel, all your meals, all your ground transportation is included in that $3,000. I can't do better than that. It's an amazing. And we've also got 2 English-speaking guides that speak Russian, English, and Kazakh that are going to be with you the full time to make sure you're through. Next week that's going up. There's a very limited amount of spots for that. So once I put it up, those who grab it first, they got it. You roll with it. We'll find some way to make a low down payment. I have to talk to the travel agency to figure out what's the minimal amount that they need in order to get started. So that's the update for the Kazakhstan visit, and I want you to be aware and look out for it. It'll be on the main freedomnation.me website. 2022 Freedom Experience Georgia. We are going to have our 3rd Freedom Experience in Georgia. Now, with that, I want a quick reminder and just show you what the Freedom Village is. One of our young men that came by actually did an excellent job putting together this video for the Freedom Village. And I want to make sure that we can share it back out. So here you go. The Freedom Experience is a 5-day experience inside of a private lodge and things we fellow and have fellowship with one another. Most significant. We have different levels of experiences that have happened here. We show people their lots. We show them their materials that are on the lots. We help them identify so that when they look at land, they understand what they're looking at.
Well, I can tell you from when I first saw the land in December of 2020, it wasn't that much growth on the land. I mean, when I went back this time, the weeds was high, the trees had grown, everything had grown, you know.
And so going back into the property brought me back to my childhood days of walking in the woods and being adventurous as a child.
Hacking through the forest and the grass there was pretty cool. It was raining, but we all battled through it, and we're still excited about the opportunity.
I was so excited when I came down. First thing I did was I called home to everybody that didn't come and tell them, you know, what they're missing.
And you have the freedom to develop it the way as you see fit, not buying into somebody else's design. So it's a design that's gonna be ours.
It's a movement, it's a vision, it's a lifestyle. We all have a right and an equal say in what goes on.
In a community where everybody is, you know, an individual, authentically who they are, but at the same time collectively working so that we all are okay.
Last but not least, we go through a project management exercise where everyone creates their freedom plan, and then we have a coach that then will call them either weekly or monthly to keep them on plan for the next 5 years.
Which I think is a dope concept, and to see it actually be able to be implemented at scale, I think is going to be a great thing to see.
We're gonna be the guinea pig, the creators, the innovators, so come on down and we show you everything.
You know, we got a lot of good people, and we got a good crew, and I think it's going to be an amazing place.
So, more than anything else, Freedom Experience is the ability to experience true community at its core. And we talk next steps.
Every time we take inside Lundy Creek Lodge, down inside of Freedom Village, Georgia, on 2,000 acres, with a 17-room lodge, swimming pools, everything else. We've done this 2 times now with the Freedom Experience, and this will be our 3rd annual Freedom Experience. It is a beautiful experience. We've always eaten really wholesome food, typically made by my wife, who takes care of us, and then we've also been able to have some really important, significant fellowshipping and meetings that steer everything that's being done in the following year. This will be no different. The 2022 Freedom Experience in Georgia is going to go on the website in the next 2 weeks as well, and we're going to go ahead and start reserving the rooms. I am doing that because every time we've done the Freedom Experience, it has sold out very, very quick. And I want to give a couple more people opportunities who might need to put together their funds to make things happen. We basically just share the cost of the lodge and the food, and try to make it as easy as possible for people to show up. The focus is the fellowshipping more than anything else. But you know, so that is coming up. That is there. It'll be on the main freedomnation.me website starting next week. And coming towards our last 2 updates, this is one of the big ones, the 2023, and here, let's say this word together, Quinquennial Global Celebration of Freedom. Quinquennial Global Celebration of Freedom. Quinquennial means 5 years, and we always hear bicentennial, centennial, whatever, but 5 years. Every 5 years, we've dedicated to having a global celebration, a global freedom experience. Here we will actually celebrate everything in all parts of what it means to be in the Freedom Nation. This is our every 5-year opportunity to bring together all of the members, partners, friends, brothers, sisters throughout the Freedom Nation, throughout all of our associations in every single part of the world into one. This year, we are starting to work with a company now, and I want to make sure I have the proper image of it to show to you. There we go. Okay, and here's the proper image. There's a little guy there, by the way, that's Razor. But we're going to be having it in Antalya, Turkey. And in Antalya, Turkey, me and one of the gentlemen who moved here to Kazakhstan for a brief while, We went here last year, and we stayed for about a week. This is an amazing resort. If you catch a name on the top, great. If you don't, there will be lots more information about it. This will be available coming into the next month. It is an all-inclusive space that is built out for kids, everybody else. It is something you really want to start saving towards. It is an amazing experience, and you will not want to miss it at all. I can guarantee you do not want to miss the global, here we go again, the word is even new to me, and that is a quinquennial celebration of the Freedom Nation, global celebration of the Freedom Nation. It also lands on my 45th birthday, but that's coincidental. Either way, my thing is to relinquish all birthday celebrations in order to celebrate the people and the citizens of Freedom Nation instead. It means a lot more to me to see the beautiful faces of the people who are committed to building black power in this world than just having another piece of cake. So this will be an amazing experience. We're going to give people plenty of time to save up for it, pay down towards it, and we're going to try to make it as affordable as possible. We're going to try to put 100 to 200 people inside it, and it's something you really don't want to miss. It'll be really, really, really fantastic. Updates on Voice of Freedom we already went through, and Freedom Village, Georgia 2. I'm going to give the updates on that right now. Freedom Village, Georgia 2, excuse me, I'm going to be a father for a second. Son, come close my door. Son, come close my door. I never feel bad about talking to my children while we're in these videos because this is what we're working for our kids. And if we can't be close to them, then it's just a waste. So Freedom Village, Georgia 2. Freedom Village, Georgia 2, we are in the plans to buy another 300 to 400 acres of land in Hancock County in order to expand the entire size of Freedom Village, Georgia. I shared before a documentary of John McCown and some of the problems that he had, first African-American commissioner in Georgia that built in Hancock County. Even though Hancock County is 90% black, almost 80 to 90% of the land is owned by white people. And what we have started to do is buy that land back. So I think that we've tipped off a hat or two, but we're finding some creative ways to still purchase the land. And we're going to try to purchase that land within the next couple of months and make it available. Our citizens will be the first people to know. And then after that, we will notify the public. And then we'll have a strong drive to get in. I'm going to remind you that when we do sell out the Freedom Village, they sell very quick because we offer financing and we make the prices very low. We sell 1.25 acres for $5,000, but Freedom Village 2, Georgia 2 should be coming online within the next 3 to 4 months. We look for it at the beginning of September. And that is the update on Freedom Village, Georgia 2, and is also the end of our updates for April. I'm glad that you stuck with me. I know that back at home it is very late. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to do a time check. I know it's almost 11 o'clock at night. So if you have joined us live and you're with us, like Ahmed, I want to give you salams, assalamu alaikum. Anyone else that's there, uhuru, and I also want to say my blessings and love to everybody. It is Ramadan, and in Ramadan we are fasting and we are trying to remind ourselves what it means to have self-sacrifice and discipline. And self-sacrifice and discipline are definitely needed to pull off something of this scale. Every time I do an update, it gets a little longer and it gets a little harder in order for me to update everybody on everything that's happening inside of Freedom Nation. But we are committed to absolute transparency. This is a collective event. No one is orating or dictating anyone. Outside of the work that I do as chairman of the Freedom Nation, when it comes to the Freedom Village, I am nothing more than a citizen and nothing less than a citizen. And I'm equal with my brothers and sisters, and I even fall underneath the leadership of the village council elected by the other citizens. I like it that way. I love it that way, right? This is a wonderful thing. We're going to continue, and we look forward next month to give you another update of the things happening. Please pay heed. Take advantage of the things that are happening here. And I hope for those who have never heard about the Freedom Nation before, that this gives you just a brief preview of the scale of what we're doing and all of the energy that's being put into it and how amazing it is what we are trying to accomplish. Now, on the backside of that, I'd like to leave you with our corporate video as I came in. I love the way it's titled, Black Power is Our Job. Peace, assalamu alaikum, uhuru, good night.
Understand what black is. The source from which all things come. The security blanket for the stars. Understand what black is. It's not a color, it's the basis of all colors. It is not a complexion, it is a reflection of all complexions called human. And out of this blackness, passion flows like a river. Feelings tell the truth. Song and dance and making you laugh are family members. Understand what black is. The breath you breathe, the sweat on your brow, the cheers and the tears balancing the world on your head. Faith is the glue that holds us all together. This is your blackness. Not some horror story of lost souls drifting into the land.
The Freedom Experience is a 5-day experience inside of a private lodge. And we first and foremost, above all other things,
they say you must be electric and plugged in to the sockets of the world. Black is humanity. Understand what black is. Understand black. Black is humanity. That beautiful chord on a 12-string guitar that makes you smile, that offers comfort in turbulent times, provides food when there is nothing to eat, a shelter when there is nowhere to live. Black is humanity, making hope stand tall and not wilt, because black knows.
Thank you.